Few days ago, I went to see this girl, right? So I went to a place. We're friends, so we're technically friends anyway. And we just went on a little walk. Talked about life and all that. Expected. You know, I don't know what I expected. But long story short, we talked about life, and while we're talking, she recently graduated from university, just like me, right? So I graduated like 1 year before she did, and we're just talking about life and stuff, like transitioning into like the adult life and all of that type of stuff. So, but one thing I was trying to tell, because she was like, like I'm practically the only person she knows that is not trying to just be like an average, 9 to 5 person, right? Because when we were younger, when we were in school, like we had the big dream of becoming a YouTuber, or making short films and being a creative type of person and so on and so forth, right? But as we have gotten older, right, like that's just continued to fade and fade and fade, right? And she said something that, she said a lot of things that, hit me. But one of the things she said was like, as much as she would like to, be creative and do all those stuff, and she too doesn't really care about the 9 to 5 routes, but it's like you need to pay bills, like you need to pay rent, right? So like you just inevitably have to go down that path. And it felt very sad to me when I heard that, because it was like seeing another soldier fall, right? And what I mean by that, a lot of us, when we're younger, we have all these big dreams, we have all these crazy goals, and wildest, like your imagination is amazing. But as you just get older and older, like I just see it every day. It's like just think about it like an onion, right? So this is the onion itself. So you peel out the first layer, then you peel out the second, then you peel out the third. So it's like the older we grow, we just keep peeling, or life, just keeps peeling all these layers one by one. And the first layer is peeled off, so like you're not as enthusiastic, you're not as motivated, you're not as hyped, you're not like you don't really give two fucks about your passion or your dream or whatever. Then you get into another phase of life, then another is stripped away again. Like you realize, oh yeah, you need to pay rent, right? It's like you need to pay bills and all those type of stuff. And then like yeah, stripped. You basically look at the world, because the thing also, like a lot of people don't talk, right? So, like we like to watch all these motivational videos, like oh, this person followed his dreams and became a successful entrepreneur, became a successful creative, and this one and that one. But I feel like those videos, they don't highlight enough that these people failed for multiple years, right? Because before you eventually become successful, like it's like just bad failure, right? It's like he's like a J curve, right? So it's when you start, it just goes down, like very very down, before it finally starts to go up. So this down period, a lot of people don't like. I don't think it's voiced enough, right? We just like to look at this upside when they start to blow up and things start to go well, and so on and so forth. But back to what I was saying, the older you grow, is like each layer just keeps getting stripped for you. That when you finally, like eventually you just look back and you're living like an average life. Like you have your job, you have your workplace, you have like your average partner, whether you're a boy or a girl. I'm a guy, so probably like your wife or your girlfriend or your fiance or whatever. And she's just, but not really the type of person you envisioned you want to be with before. Like obviously maybe she'll be decent to put up with or whatever, but like when you were younger, this were definitely not the goals you had for yourself, right? So it's like the older we grow, the more those layers just get stripped away, and before you know it, you look back and there's almost nothing left, right? No hopes, no dreams, no goals, no imagination, no creativity, nothing, just surviving, just going through day to day life. So I don't know the point I'm trying to make from all this, words, but I feel like one thing I'm trying to do is to not let all those layers get stripped away completely. Like I want to try my best to hold on to this, let's say, hold on to this delusional belief for as long as possible. I don't know how long I'll be able to do that, honestly, because eventually, too, because even me, as I've been growing older, each of those layers have been stripped away. Like my other channel that was more of like a creative channel, like I barely post on that shit, right? I'm trying to get back in the flow, trying to be more consistent and all that. But like I barely post, right? All my other channels, the short film ideas I used to have, the animation ideas I used to have, the stories I used to want to tell, like it all feels like it all feels like unnecessary now. Like, but like so that and that's the sad part I'm trying to talk about, because before that was everything. That meant everything to me. That was like that's the only thing I wanted to live for. And now it's like, it's kind of childish. I have better things I'm doing with my time. What's when the ROI? Like, it's probably not going to make me money, or it's not really going to end up. So I don't know. Maybe this is not necessarily like a teaching video, but it's just like I want to not become a normal person. I want to try and stay like as abnormal as possible for as long as possible. Like, but I wonder how long I'll be able to sustain that, because it feels like the clock is ticking. So long story short, just try to not let go of your dreams, right? Like when you were younger, especially if you're still young, you're like you have the best life. You probably have the best life. Like if you have not graduated from university, you have the best life. Like you're good. So just take your goal seriously, and no matter the trials and tribulations that come with it, no matter life happening, and just growing older, getting more responsibilities, people having more expectations of you. Like when you're 18 years old, when you're 19 years old, nobody really has expectations. But when you're like 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, people are starting to look like, when are you going to get like a proper job, right? It's like, when are you going to get married? When are you going to have your own house? When are you going to do this and this and this? So it's like, just try and fight for as long as possible, right? Don't be another falling soldier. Okay?